My name is Izuku Midoriya, and I've always dreamed of being a hero. So I enrolled in the prestigious UA High School. My friends and I are working hard toward a shared goal, facing every challenge that comes our way, and saving people with a smile. We're training to become the world's greatest heroes. That's right. This is My Hero Academia.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
My sweet waifu.
Is that you? Mic check. Mic check. Mic check waifu waifu. Tell, is that you?
Polo.
What's up there, boy?
What's going on, bro? How you feeling?
Oh my God, overwhelmed in the best way possible. Okay, so we have a very large show for you today. As you can see, we started the show a little bit different. This show is going to be stacked full of anime to discuss for the summer, including My Hero Academia, our review of Astra Lost In Space, and so much more. But before we do that, I would like to thank our Patreon producers, Chris Goodywin, Monique Williams, and Connor. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show at the producer tier. It means so much to us that you guys support us at that level of support. Also, the show is brought to you by Lube Complex. Go to lubecomplex.com and get stuff like this hentai hoodie that I'm currently wearing on our video version of the podcast, and so much more. Use the offer code WAIFU to save on your entire cart. And also, one more thing. There's just one more thing before we get cracking. Mic Check Waifu Waifu has a shop. It has a shop. You can get our girl Sarah, that's over next to Tell there, on a hoodie or a t-shirt, and you can get some original designs from our boy, Mr. King Telliano, over there on the shop. More to come soon. But let's get this thing started. Okay, so a very large show for you today. We're going to save My Hero for the second half of the episode, but for the first half, I want to do some recommendations to give to our audience on this summer season so far.
Okay.
So first and foremost, let's start off with some summer shows you want to recommend to our lovely people. Me, I'm going to strongly recommend people go watch Assassin's Pride. That one's pretty fire. You watched that one yet?
Oh yeah, I watched that first episode. Right off the bat.
Yeah, so good, dude. So good. It was definitely different than what I thought it was going to be, but it turned out better than I thought it was going to be. Like way better.
So, I mean, you want to go into a full explanation on this one?
Yeah, let's go a little bit into it. Just a little bit.
So, we start off Assassin's Pride on some fire.
Yeah. Straight up.
Like, I was like, okay, this is what I want to see.
Our main character, Kuya, what's his Kufu?
Kufa Vampire.
Yeah, Kufa Vampire is his name.
Yeah.
With a sword.
Our guy comes into the room with a sword.
Full kitty toe.
Dudes. Yeah, right. You said what?
I said you went full kitty toe.
You're right, though. You're right. Come into the room, swords drawn, boom, cutting people like from left kidney to the top of their shoulder blades, making it look mad clean. And he gets into a fight with another guy who's in the room, like completely wrapped in bandages and whatnot like that. And I'm just like, okay, we already got some conflict starting off the bat. You know,
right.
They didn't even wait for this. They just straight up was like, okay, we got this.
Right.
After, the conflict kind of resolves, our guy who's wrapped in like bandages, almost like a black mummy dude, essentially jumps out the window. We see he's got like his bandages all over the place. They basically like stopping the sword from cutting through. Mm-hmm. And another guy comes into the room and he says, it looks like he's about as strong as you were. Yep. And we're like, okay, so is that saying like our dude is like top notch strong? Mm-hmm. We don't know.
Not yet. But soon we'll find out.
Yeah. But soon after that, we get to see.
Let's
leave it. You don't want to talk too much?
No, yeah. Let's not go too much into it. I do want to talk about this straight premise though. This premise is of this assassin person who basically becomes the instructor of a girl who's a part of a very prestigious family who may not actually be a part of that prestigious family because her father was a cheater. Now, the reason why I wanted to get like just into that premise is because the concept behind it, like during this episode, we figure out that this guy is like, yo, so this girl is not a part of this family like she's supposed to be.
Yeah,
so,
Melita Angel.
Yeah, Melita Angel isn't a part of this family like she's supposed to be. She's basically a bastard child from, you know, a fling that her father has had. And she doesn't have like this magic power that they have in this world. Like they call it mana, of course. And she doesn't have access to it. So he's basically saying like, look, this girl is so pitiful. It's so sad. And unfortunately, because she's not a part of this family, I got to kill her. So he goes to basically kill her, found out she's not in her room. And she's basically getting chased by some low level monsters that her father basically sends to her to try to awaken her mana powers.
Called Lananthropes.
Yeah, it isn't working. She's not awakening. But our assassin person follows her and notices that she's not giving up on trying to awaken her power. She's not calling help because that would mean that she would have to admit that she doesn't have this power. And that's just not a good look for her. So he realized that, I guess that drive in her, and he basically saves her. And this is the part that really intrigued me the most. He basically, like, is this a form of marriage or something? I don't know what it was, but he gives her this potion that she takes and basically cause her to drown. And that's the end of the episode. That's where they leave us. Like, bro, this show is going to be fire.
Yeah. So obviously the drowning was like a metaphor.
Yeah, metaphor.
But,
or is, yeah, like what she's going through.
If anything, she probably drowned in like the mana.
Yeah.
You know, she had never experienced it before. And now she just gets steeped and dumped into this pool of like
power,
and
I guess. Yeah. He said it could kill you too, to her.
Yeah. And what I thought was interesting though, was what he said at the end is that like, don't make me have to kill you. Yeah. Because basically if you mess this up, we're both going to get an instant death. And I'm like, so at the beginning, we kind of get this feeling that our dude is like super powerful. Mm-hmm. But clearly there's people like above him that he's worried about when it comes to getting wiped out. And
they established this in the 23 minutes. This is one of the best shows I think this summer so far to establish a world without it feeling overwhelmed or rushed. You know what I'm saying? Like, so good. So Assassin's Pride is definitely probably going to. So one I'm looking forward to more of.
Let me tell you one thing about this show that gave me goosebumps.
What was
that? When we ended Demon Slayer, right? Mm-hmm. We ended Demon Slayer on a train.
Oh yeah, we start Assassin's Pride on the train.
And I'm like, they ushered this in. This is time. This might be the sleeper.
That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. But did you notice the
sleeper? Did
you notice that it looked like like when they zoomed out, it looked like one of those little
chandelier?
Yeah, it was a chandelier, but it looked like one of those little playhouses. Like not playhouse, like a playtown. Like my mother used to have these little Christmas figures that she used to put out every Christmas, and it used to be like a little town and stuff. Did that?
My speculation was that how they kind of preface the world.
Yeah,
was that most of the world is already corrupted and destroyed, and they can only live in this kind of like area because the world has been like completely taken over by darkness or something like that.
But like, what if like the world is just in somebody's living room? and it's like it doesn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it looked like. But did you notice how good the animation looked though?
Oh yeah,
like the art from CG to real.
Definitely,
it's another one of those, man.
It's a good one.
Another one of those.
What is this? This is by EMT Squad though, or Squared. EMT Squared.
EMT Squared. It's going to be a good one. So. Look forward to that. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch Assassin's Pride. It's on Crunchyroll. Yeah, it's really, really good. Really, really, really good.
I wholeheartedly agree.
One that I watched that has me so excited, pun intended, is Val X Love. Okay. Now,
so I went to start this one, and the only reason I stopped is because I didn't have enough time.
Okay.
But to me, like just the very few, like the first like 5 minutes looked like, oh yeah, I want to watch this. So
Okay.
I have a feeling this is going to be good. I just didn't get a chance to like really break into it.
Well, I don't know if you're going to like it. I'm going to be honest.
You really? You don't think so?
For you, I don't know, man. I don't know. You just make sure you know, Apollo is away.
Oh,
And Monique is away.
Hey, it's one of them.
It's one of them. It's one of them. It's a harem ecchi comedy. Okay.
Okay.
All right, but the comedy is kind of, you know, a little darker humor, but it's about this guy who's literally hulking, just a big dude, just a naturally big dude. His face looks devilish. Akuma is what they call him, because the name is like Akatsuki or some shit like that. But they call him Akuma because he looks like a demon, but his face is just naturally looks evil, kind of like Shinra in Fire Force, but he looks way more meaner. And they like depict him. I'm sorry, excuse me. And when he's like looking normal, they depict him to be like this horrible looking demon guy, but he's really just a big softy that just happens to have a face like this, and who's just a big dude. But the people in the school, his high school in the city, is absolutely terrified of this guy. Okay. The episode starts off like that, establishing who that person is. And then these girls in this class who's like super popular and super cute, and they get along with everybody and stuff like that. And he basically talks to one of them, and like the class freaks the hell out because it's like I said, he's like a demon to them. Okay. Mm-hmm. Fast forward, they do a flashback to establish this world. This one does a good job of doing it too. They do a flashback and they show that this guy was visited basically by Odin, the god.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said that, okay, I feel like you are the one that can be the hero to save this world. Okay. I'm going to give you 9 swords to basically wield and save this world from this actual Akuma threat, because demons are actually coming, like is awakening in this world. And like the only person that can stop them is the person that can wield these 9 swords. These 9 swords just so happen to be these women. Like the girl, like one of the most popular girls in high school, the class president, just a bunch of different just waifus everywhere, brother. Waifus everywhere. Now, I see. Fast forward again. He lives alone, or he did live alone before Odin gave him these swords. Now he lives with these 9 girls. He has a phobia of people. He cannot be around people. That's why he because of his face and stuff like that, people would be terrified of him. So he didn't want to frighten people. So now he's scared to be around people. So he has this like nervous edge to him. But the show then starts. He fast forward. I'm not going to give you the details. Just watch the show. But he has to take one of the swords to the store. And one of the goals is to like hold hands and walk to the store together. This is where we learned that the only way for the swords to level up is for them to fall in love with him.
Oh, God.
Yep. That's why I said you probably won't like it.
But is the action like there?
Kind of. I mean, the first episode was kind of just a bunch of
chill. It's pretty chill.
Kind of. When he takes her to the store, one of the Akuma demons that were actually terrorizing this neighborhood shows up and he saves her. Okay, he saves the girl by, sacrificing himself from like a building that gets destroyed. And she's like, oh my God, he saved me. You're such a nice guy. She then says, okay, I can do this. Since you saved me, let me save you. She then basically takes off her clothes, grabs his hand, places his hand on her boob, makes him massage her boob, kisses him, and then she turns into this super powerful sword lady chick that is incredible, and she fucking destroys this demon. It's dope. It's perfect for me. I love everything about it because the waifus are great. The premise is fantastic because it's so just ecchi and raunchy and just great. What I really like about it though, is that main character. Like the fact that he's this, I'm afraid of people, but like he's a super nice guy. He studies extremely hard, like harder than anybody. And he like constantly studies on his own, but he goes to take tests and stuff, but he fails because there's people around him and he's too nervous. Like, that's how bad his phobia of people is. It's a very interesting premise. So now these girls are going to try to fall in love with this guy who don't like people. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
So I'm gonna give this a try.
Please do.
This reminds me of the basketball anime that came out. Now, I know that you don't really like sports anime.
True.
But this sports anime is called Aihiro no Sora. And basically it has not a similar storyline, but it's more grounded in reality. It doesn't seem as fake as like Kuriko's basketball, because Kuriko's basketball is going over the top since episode 1, like dunking on Jesus or whoever they want to dunk on. It was wow. I can't believe y'all doing this. But in Aihiro no Sora, essentially it's this new guy who comes to school who's like, let's find out exactly how tall he is real quick, because he says he is a specific height.
I mean, if it's Japan, I'm gonna guess 6'1".
He is. Oh no, he's not. He's 150 centimeters, which means he's 59 inches, which means he's less than 5 feet tall. Oh, geez,
he's shorter.
Yeah. Damn. He's 4.9 feet, which means he like 4'11".
Jesus.
But so our guy is short, and he's a basketball player, and it's like, how can you play basketball and be this short? Like, it makes no sense. But well, I mean, even the shortest basketball players like Bugsy and stuff like that were 5'5".
That's true. That's a good point. Touché.
All right. But he comes into school, and he kind of, like, our first episode, we see him like, basically it's 4 dudes surrounded him by like the river on the way to school. And they
bullying him, basically.
Yeah, bullying him, like, hey, give us everything you got. And he like, okay, I'll fight all of you one by one. And they're like, all right, bet. They jump him, or they fight him one by one. He lose every fight. And
damn, I thought it was about to be
he like, but he grabbed his bag. At least I got my bag, And they joking and all that kind of stuff. They walk off, and we see this big dude walk up on him like, oh man, one of the dudes came back to beat him up some more and take his bag, since he just shown how much he liked his bag. And this dude walks up and he's like, what is what's in the bag? And Ahiro or Sora laughs, and he says, he smiles at him and says, they're my wings. And we like, I'm like, clearly those his shoes, like those his joints right there. Yep. He about to dunk on everybody with them shoes on, them his like Mikes, So
his like Mikes.
Right. Our dude basically ends up talking to this new guy, and we find out that this guy claims, his name is Chiaki. He claims that he's like trained in all these different martial arts and stuff like that, and then he gets hit in the head with a drone, gets knocked out, whatever. We don't even see him anymore after that.
Damn.
Later on, our boy Sora goes to actual school, and he's super excited to be a part of the basketball team. He's like, oh, I'm about to be on the basketball team, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. And he meets up in the locker room, and no one's there. And he's like, oh.
The hell is going on?
Yeah, right? As he like kind of gets ready to leave, 4 more dudes walk in. It's a tall guy with blonde hair, kind of look like a greaser, but he's Asian.
Yeah.
And his 3 goons, right? Basically, he gets bullied again by this whole new group. But they didn't like beat him up. They basically said, hey, look, we don't play basketball here. We are the basketball team, but we don't play basketball here. Because if you want to play basketball, you got to fight me, or you got to ask for permission first. So basically locked him in the boys' locker room to play basketball the whole time, or whatever. Chiaki actually ends up being in the locker room. Long story short, they get out of the locker room because he shows to Chiaki so hard, like, hey, I want to play basketball, and I'll do anything to play basketball. They go to the court. He has like his tryouts, right?
Right.
And Momo Haru, which is the dude with the blonde hair, comes out and says, didn't I tell you can't play basketball here? and Chiaki is basically telling them like, I told you don't want to play basketball here. Turns out Momoharu and Chiaki are brothers. They're twin brothers.
Oh, shit.
At that. And they're like the two most badass dudes in the school. And they fight all the time. Mm-hmm. But dude says, look, I'll take on all 5 of you in basketball right now. And if I beat you, you have to let me on the basketball team. And I'm like, hold up. My dude, that dude is 12'3".
See, so I'm looking at the picture right now. Is that somebody with braids?
Yeah, we don't even see him yet. We don't know him yet.
Oh, okay.
But another dude is 6'5". How you got a 12'3" and a 6'5" guy, and then the other 3 dudes are giants too. Like, so how you gonna beat them in basketball, my dude? You're literally 4'9". So he takes the challenge. They take the challenge. They end up. Chiaki though ends up saying, I'm not playing, and they get like the girl who's like the best basketball player in the school, or best female basketball player in the school, and she's like, all right, I'm gonna take it serious. Like, I want him to play basketball because he looks like he has passion for it, but I'm not gonna go easy on him. First play, my dude get the ball, he drive in on him like he's Allen Iverson, just like boom, dribbling up, and it's the big Momoharu dude who thinks he's like, all right, I'm gonna stop you. He hit the back reverse, come back around, and cross up Momoharu and get past him.
Damn.
Blow past the girl, get past the other 2 dudes, and just drive to the hole, and they kick him in the face.
Jesus Christ.
And the dude's like, oh, I guess you didn't score, so I guess you can't be on the basketball team. And I'm like, hold up. I'm about to fight y'all. I'm about to fight y'all, my dude.
That's terrible.
But, it ain't in there. Our dude Momoharu, he's angry. He's one of these big angry dudes. He gets salty. He's like, nah, we're going to do best out of 10. You missed that point, but we're going to do best out of 10. Our dude Sora goes on to score 9 points in a row on these dudes. He hit that fadeaway. And it was like, yeah, y'all not stopping me no more. You kick me in the face, it's not happening again.
So what's the main premise? Do they establish a basketball team now, and basically they're actually playing for real?
So we don't 100% get to really see him play basketball other than that. We do get to see kind of like his ambition, and like I think it's more of a motivational piece, right? So you look at this as like, okay, he's not the same
right
as anyone else who's going to be on this team. He has to, like, they're talking about, I take 200 shots every night to make sure that my jumper is as good as possible. Well, you take 200 shots. This dude literally has shot the ball over 2,000 times. And school is closed already, and he's been sitting here shooting, for hours just to make sure his shot is as good as it could possibly be, because he's already at disadvantage, right?
Right. Being short.
Right. So, literally, the girl won't leave because she was just like trying to like humor and see how many shots this guy's going to take. So I think that's the premise, is like, you can do something even if you are completely like disadvantaged.
Right.
And that's what I 100% like about it. But it's also like grounded and real, So like, this is basketball. Basketball is my favorite sport to watch. Football is my favorite sport to play. But this is like, so far, I'm gonna say this is gonna be a really good anime. Like, I'm loving how, like, I'm always a sucker for the character who, no matter what the tribulations or the issues are, he's gonna like grind and work for it.
Yeah,
so I'm super hyped for it. Well, I mean, I don't really like Naruto that much. Like, Naruto, okay, but I like the actual. Asta is actually the worst.
True that. True.
God.
All right, I'm gonna quickly go through another one I got for you. Or Suki, or are you the only one who loves me?
I'm not the only one who loves you.
This anime is great so far. So I'm gonna just do a quick little roundup. So this one is about a guy who's literally just an average student, normal student, who goes to school, has his childhood friend who's a waifu, of course, has his best friend who's like the athlete, and so on and so forth. Okay. He goes to school and talks to his friends or whatever, and he's part of the student council, and basically he's just normal. He's just a normal dude. The student council president comes to his class And it seems like that she like kind of has a crush on him. It's so like almost kind of like obvious, like that she's like, you know, let's walk to the student council room together or whatever. And like almost like she has a crush on him. But of course, he's oblivious because he's one of those characters that's just oblivious to this type of stuff, or at least at the beginning. And like when a student council president comes to their classroom, his best friend is like, OK, or his childhood friend, I should say, is like, OK, why are you coming to pick up Jiro, which is the main character's name, Jiro, from class or whatever. And she's like, well, you know, we have student council duties to do, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward. While they're in the student council room, the president, which is probably the best waifu like of any show that we're watching right now, because the way she's drawn, dude, her eyes are gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I love the way she's drawn. We might have to like art her up and put her on a shirt. But but they're in a student council room, and she like nervously asks Jiro, our main character, to go out with her on Saturday. And I'm like, yo, what? Like he already getting it like this?
Right, episode 1?
Episode 1. They go out, have this freaking phenomenal date. He like does the date almost flawless, okay? At the end of the date, they go sit down at this bench, and she starts to basically confess. She says, listen, there is somebody that I like. Every time I think about this person, my heart beats faster. I get to see them every day, and I'm so happy I do. And it just makes me so happy. And
she's in love with herself.
She leans over to go give real close to Jiro's face and say, can you please hook me up with your best friend? Bang. Bang. So he's all like, well, shit.
Hey, it happens like that sometimes, bro. Don't act like that ain't never happened.
Hey, that happens. That happens. True. But that day, he received a text message from his best friend. His best friend is another waifu. She's kind of like the childish type of waifu. She says, let's go out on Sunday since you can't go out on Saturday. He goes out with her on Sunday, and everything is phenomenal again. He's killing his date yet again.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you see where this is going. They end the date. They sit on a bench. She says, hey, I'm in love with your best friend.
Oh.
So this entire time, this guy is like, yo, are you kidding me? I've been such a great guy to both my best friend and the president. I've been extremely close to him, and they both like my best friend. So he saw it.
It be like that sometimes, you know, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's like, they're asking him for his help to basically hook them up. And he straight up tells him like later on in the episode, like, look, okay, I'm on both of y'all's side. I'm gonna do my best for the both of you to get y'all together with your best friend.
That's real.
Right. Now, fast forward, he's on lunch. Both his best friend and the president is looking for him during lunch so they can like get some advice on what they should do about getting with his best friend. His best friend name they call him Sun Kun or whatever. So he like completely ditches both of them because he's not ready for it, because when he tried to hook them both up, they're both like super nervous, bimbos, like they lose their mind around this guy. So he's like, okay, this is going to be harder than I thought. So he takes a break at the library, goes to the library, meets this other girl, we find out, who's actually been stalking Chihiro. She's been stalking him. She's like, okay, like I've been watching.
Get his friend again.
I've been watching you. And they do the whole scene again. There's somebody I like. There's somebody I'm in love with. That person is you, Jiro. She's like, but, okay. So now, mind you, this guy Jiro's been just a normal student, great guy, like super nice. But I don't love this Chihiro. I love the other one. And like, yeah, exactly. I made that face too. So like when she said that, he's like, oh, damn, fuck. So if this girl has really been stalking me, then she know. Come to find out, this is basically like she's holding the book when she comes up to him too, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like this.
He is his friend.
Huh? No.
Is he? Oh,
no.
Okay.
This guy he does this personality thing. He puts on a complete facade of who he actually is. And this girl threatens to reveal that to everybody because he's really just an asshole that don't give a fuck about nothing. Okay. He's just like, well, fuck, I just wanted to get a girl. And I know that this is how you should act if you wanted to get the girl, like a innocent, sweet guy. But no, he's like this super cool, super just assholey type of dude. And she's like, that's the one I love. And then that's where the episode ends. And I'm on episode 2 is out now, but I didn't have time to watch it. But I'm like, this show is about to be incredible, dude.
I'm already stressed.
I know. That's how I was.
So dude. Stressed. Like, come on, man. I thought she was about to be like, look, I'm stalking you because I want to hook up with your friend.
Right. Which would have been an interesting premise, but changing this though, like, yeah, the president name is Aquino. They call her Cosmos. Click on her picture on my anime list and then look how incredible, like the way she's drawn. She's number one waifu for sure.
What's her name? What's the show again?
The show is you got it?
Hold on. It's
I can drop the link actually.
Are you the only one who loves me?
Yep. Yeah, her character looks incredibly, like, perfectly drawn. I'm like, yeah, this is we gotta get her drawn up and put on a shirt for show. Show.
It's Kino.
Yeah, Kino.
Oh yeah. she got like the half cat, half human smile.
Yeah, with the eyes that are like not as beady, right? Like, yeah. I love it. She's dope though. But that show surprised me. That's gonna probably be my sleeper alongside Assassin's Pride for sure.
For sure. I wanted to ask you. You watched Sword Art, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now I don't want to do too much of a deep dive into that. I just have a question.
What's up?
How did that first episode make you feel? Like, what'd you think about that first episode?
I thought it was an excellent start. Because it had me like, what the fuck is going on? And then as it went on, I start to understand what happened at the end. But I'm hoping that episode 2 takes us into the real world for us to figure out like what the hell is actually going on with Kirito. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I want to see Asuna.
Yeah.
I want,
because that was a cliffhanger and a half.
Well, and also I just got to be real. I was low key disappointed.
Oh, we on the opposite spectrums on this. Yes, Tell get to be the negative one this time. Let's go.
It's just that ain't even right. All right, but no, look. If I'm just being like 100% real, it's like I enjoyed the episode, but like I feel like they should have set us up to understand, like, so Kirito is clearly in like a almost like a coma-esque state. Like he's not himself,
like a vegetable state, yeah.
And the way I'm seeing this, and I'm only doing this because obviously I watched like the intro and stuff like that. I haven't read the manga, but it's like
I skipped the intro.
It's stressing me out because in the intro there's not a single sign of Kirito not being regular. Like he's not shown any regular Kirito at all. And Kirito's in the intro, like not almost at all. It's all about Alice and Asuna and everyone else. And I'm like, that's cool, but I came here for my boy Kirito.
I'm glad I didn't watch the intro. I just fast forwarded.
I am salty.
Oof.
Now that's not the part that actually made me salty because it's just the intro. The intro can be not revealing at all. So realistically, that could mean absolutely nothing. True. But what makes me salty is just the fact that like they put Kirito in this like almost vegetable state, and I feel like he lost all this character development, and it's like in my mind, it's almost like they did that to make the story progress. Because if Kirito is still super strong, like how do you progress the story, right? So I just hope that when Kirito comes back, they introduce him properly and not like...
Yeah. So man, hopefully they do that in episode 2 because, I mean, you're right. Now that I look back on it, like you think about what's going on. Like you didn't have to put Kirito in but then again, you wouldn't have the drama that they're trying to build up, right? But
they also could have just made him be hurt, right? Like, let's say instead of Kirito being in a vegetable state, right? Let's say for whatever reason, after beating the administrator and stuff like that, he couldn't even pick up his sword.
Right.
He just, for whatever reason, could not lift his sword. And he showed that he had all the stats that he had previously, but he just couldn't lift his sword. Like, even how Alice said, she can't lift her sword anymore, but she can lift Kirito's sword.
Right.
So why... It could have been that simple to where Kirito just, I can't actually fight right now. I have no ability to fight.
Right. So what I'm thinking is that the reason why they did that is because they wanted to build up the world and the drama with Alice. Like they want her to, I guess, be pivotal in like the redemption of all that. Because if you notice, let's say Kirito wasn't in this state at all. Okay. He was completely normal. He would be able to explain to the other Integrity Knights what actually goes on. Right. So he'll be able to explain that situation. Then he'll be, it's basically just the end of the season, because then all you're doing is you're fighting against the dark territory, because you understand what's going on.
Yeah. But we lost Kirito, we lost Yu-Gi-Oh, we lost the Cardinal, like
I see.
That's kind of like how I feel like. Mm-hmm. It's almost like 3 major characters got cut out only to possibly come back later. And that's what I don't want.
But to be honest, I don't
want to see Yu-Gi-Oh later.
Yeah. I don't even think the reason why I think they did that is because Kirito is in the real world right now. That's exactly what I think. How we know?
Because there was no way for him to leave the machine. If you remember, he was sick. When he got into the machine, he was dying. He was poisoned, and they weren't able to fix the poison and keep his mind from regressing. That's why he was in the machine in the first place.
But
and they got raided.
Yeah, that's why I thought he was out of the world, but like some of them was still left behind. That's why he was still in there in that vegetable state. But like I felt like his mind was
could be 100% right though.
Yeah,
because they could have tried to put it in one of those robots like they did before.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. Like he's out, but he's in, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I mean, he could be out in the real world helping Asuna, and then like when that's done helping them, he comes back into the game, and that's when he comes back to Kirito. Hopefully. And that could explain the intro being like the way it is too.
Don't do my dude Kirito dirty.
I know. It was wrong, but I just loved it. I just love Alice though. Alice is great. Such a great character. And when they were in the bed, I'm like, oh, look at this. This is nice.
I was like, I hope Asuna pop up on that ass. I hope Asuna pop up and be like, hold up. You in the bed with my man? And she pull out her sword and rapier her in the face.
Yeah, rapier right in the face. Oh man. Okay. Real quick. Let's go into our Astra Lost in Space review.
Oh, this ain't gonna be quick. It's gotta be good.
I know. You're absolutely right. This is gonna be a longer episode, so I'm sorry ahead of time. We have to go into this Astra Lost in Space review, though. I was finally able to finish Astra Lost in Space this week. 12 episodes. The 12th episode being about 48 minutes long, along with the first episode. All right. Let's not spoil it. I know. Because I don't feel like not enough people watched it, bro. You know? Sorry, the video version, he's reacting to my saying, let's not spoil it. Because
What?
I know. Yeah.
Nah, bro. I'm here to talk about this. What you mean?
Okay, let's talk about it then. Let's talk about it. Fuck it. Sorry.
We've neglected talking about this for weeks now. It feel like almost a month because we wasn't on the same page with it.
Because I was watching dubbed, he was watching subbed.
And then it ends, and then we took a whole nother break.
Because
then they took a break. And then it.
Yep. Okay.
No, we gotta talk about this, bro.
Okay. So I guess there's gonna be Astra Lost in Space spoilers. Okay.
We got to.
All right, here it is. Here we go. So skip ahead to you hear the break music. And then that's when we were coming back with our My Hero Academia season 4, episode 1 wrap up. Okay, Astra Lost in Space is the greatest anime of the summer.
Perfect 10.
Out of 10, bro. Out of 10. Now, if you don't know what Astra Lost in Space is, it's about 9 students. I always get that mixed up. 9 or 8? 8, 9, right?
I think it's 9 of them because the little girl was extra.
Yeah. Okay. So 9 students goes to space camp. Okay. They go to space camp. When they get to their space camp destination, they're then swallowed up by this orb that jettisoned them into outer space. While they're jettisoned in outer space, luckily, they were able to get on their helmets and find a ship that was parked outside of this cold, desolate, destroyed planet. Okay. That we're going to talk about a little bit later. They get to the ship. Once they get to the ship, they then figure out that some of the ship's communications were destroyed, but we figured out later that it was destroyed by somebody on the ship. So there's somebody on the ship that's trying to destroy them from reaching anybody else out there that can possibly save these kids. Okay.
Exactly.
Now, while they're on the ship, they come together and basically with this captain guy. Do you remember his name?
Kanata?
Yeah. That's my boy, man. That's my boy. So my boy Kanata becomes the captain of this crew. The crew then learns that they have to survive by making multiple jumps to get to their home planet. Okay. They make these multiple jumps and go through a whole whirlwind of just drama and chaos and just
the planet's trying to kill them. And
oh my goodness, man. Planet's trying to kill them to
speculation amongst the ship. Who's the traitor? Who has motive?
Mm-hmm. They're all trying to figure out who this traitor is. Now, in that whole being, all of these people come into their own, they come into their self, like they come into their own character. They learn so much about themselves, about each other, traveling through these planets and this galaxy, which all in all takes about 146 days, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
146 days of them being together. But now, mind you, that every episode ends on the biggest cliffhanger ever.
All of them.
What was the first? Yeah, all of them. What was the first major cliffhanger that you remember just off the top of your head? The biggest one.
The first big cliffhanger.
Yeah, the first big one that hit you.
I mean, the first big cliffhanger to me was our boy Olgar pulling the strap out.
Ooh. Yeah.
He was like, yeah, man, look, Luca, we not having this today. I might have to put your muffin cap back too.
So in that cliffhanger happened because Ugar had an older brother. Okay. Ugar's older brother was actually killed because he was a reporter that did some digging in places where he shouldn't have. Luca, which is one of the students on the trip, dad is a politician. That politician is who Ugar believes who sent the kill message to basically kill Ugar's older brother. So that was that cliffhanger he's referring to. Now, my first major cliffhanger would be when we figure out that God, why am I blanking on his name? Shars. Mm-hmm. The first one that I remember, besides, of course, the one you just mentioned, was Shars. And when we figured out that Shars wasn't actually a part of the class, that was I'm like, wait, what? So is he the traitor this entire time? And come to find out that he was just transferred he wasn't a part of the class, but he was transferring in because he was actually living amongst the only like kingdom society that was on that planet, that was left on that planet.
So he didn't want them to know that he was basically like
royalty almost. Yeah.
Now, I would say the next cliffhanger after that, bro, would probably be when they got stranded on the planet.
Oof.
They thought they were stuck because they took all that damage.
Mm-hmm.
And and I think it was those 2 episodes consecutively, right? Because that episode where they find the lady,
Paulina,
right? Paulina, they find Paulina. And then after that, the next episode, they're like, well, we think that Quiteri and Phoenicia might actually be siblings. And they do the DNA scan. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like they're definitely siblings. Like if you look at them, they are like spitting images of each other.
Yep.
And that whole reveal in that next episode was like,
no, they're not just siblings.
You're right. You're more than right is the thing. You are so much more than right. They were clones of each other. Like essentially they're just clones of one person, right?
Yep.
And that reveals basically that the entire troop.
Yep. All non-students were all descendants, not descendants of people, but they were just clones. They were clones of their original selves. Now, okay, rewind backwards, okay? You remember when the parents were talking, and I said this in a previous episode of Mic Check Waifu Waifu, the parents was in a meeting talking with each other like, hey, listen, we need to just declare them dead because like it's been, I think it was like 60 days or something like that, 90 days or something like that at this point. We need to just declare them dead, unfortunately, because like we can't keep losing resources to try to find these kids who've been gone for this long. You remember in that episode that I saw that I said, you know, what's dope about these English voice actors is that they voice act their parents. You remember I said that? Mm-hmm. When I said it, I'm like, when I figured out that these people were all clones, I'm like, well, fuck.
No choice.
Funimation did a fantastic job of fooling me because, well, they actually are the same person.
You know, and that scene makes so much more sense now because now that you look back at that scene, they all knew that they were clones.
Yep.
Every single one of them knew that.
Except for, they all knew. Even
they all knew.
Aries' mom knew. Yeah.
They all knew. Now, I would say this part that had me in the most awe, though, had to be because like literally we know the show is called Astra Lost in Space, right? We know the ship's name is Astra. But then when Paulina's like, where are you guys from? And they're like,
oh no, that's not how it happened. That's not how it happened.
She's like, what do you mean we're not where's Earth? And it's like,
let me
we're heading to Astra.
Let me remind you. Okay, this is also fucking blew my mind. I text Tail instantly the moment I finished this episode. So they finally can see their planet. They can see their planet. They're looking out from the ship at their planet. They're like, we just have one more trip. And we're gonna be home. She's Paulina, who, you know, was somebody that they found on the planet that they crash land on, woke up from being in the chamber from quote unquote 12 years, quote unquote, looks out and says, wait, the continents look extremely different. What? Yeah. What? Wow. If it doesn't look like the same Earth. The students then look back at her and say, what's Earth? And that's when it ends.
Oh my God. So like, I remember, all right, so Connor and I was like, what? What you mean? What is Earth, my dude? Like, literally, what are we sitting here struggling for? Where you were this whole time, this entire time. I'm like, they gonna make it back to Earth, blah, blah, blah. No, they're not going to Earth. They're going to Astra.
They're going to Astra, bro. That's
their plan. The fucking universe is Astra.
And then that episode after that was fantastic because what it does is it basically has Paulina, who's from Earth, and the students basically combine their history together. So they then plug some holes, but not all of them. And this is where we're like, wait, so you're Astra.
There's only one reason they couldn't plug all the holes, and that's basically one of the few episodes left.
Exactly. So once they plug all the holes, they talk about the history, and they say, well, you know, Astra was established in 1963 and blah, 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 blah. Paulina's like, wait, what? No, 1963? That doesn't make any sense. And then later on in a few more episodes, that's where it gets huge. Like it gets big, bro. Yeah. It gets so major.
We talk about when we find out Shars is the actual
the saboteur
traitor.
Yep.
Carrying around a black hole in his pocket or a warp hole in his pocket.
Yep.
And he causes our main man Kanata to lose his arm.
Captain.
And I'm sorry, man. I love Kanata.
Kanata's great.
All of these characters, in my personal opinion, had great motives, had fucking great development, like
beautiful hearts. They were just great people, man. Like there's nobody I hated.
I feel like even Sharks, right? Because I felt like Sharks was the most mysterious the entire time.
100%.
But like he didn't feel like we didn't know enough about him.
Right.
And it was like
because they developed him so well. Like they developed him so well. Okay, so let's talk about that plan they devised though, because Kanata went up to Sharks like, look, we know who the traitor is. Okay, this is before we knew that they knew that Sharks was a traitor. They went up to Sharks and said, okay, we know who the traitor is. This is the plan. He
went up to Sharks and
Zach.
Yeah, Sharks and Zach. He walked up to both of them.
Yeah, and said, okay, this is the plan. Ugar is the traitor. Okay, we need to get him in an isolated area because that's the best time for we expect him to use the tunnel. I tampered with Ugar's gun because Ugar was the only one that was basically capable of shooting a weapon. I tampered with his gun so when he shoots, it's not going to fire, and then we can tackle him and get the warp tunnel from him because we know he's the one that has it. They execute this plan. They go into the tunnel.
I just wanted to say though, real quick, as soon as he said that to Sharks and Zach, I was like, definitely Ugar's not the traitor. And I thought Ugar was a fucking traitor that time when they said, I'm like, wait, no, it can't be. It can't be him.
Yeah. Because they fooled me.
To me, Ugar was too obvious to be the traitor, right? So like, and that's just me being like super like paranoid. Like there's no way Ugar is a traitor. But as soon as he explained it to them, right, I was like, it has to be either Sharks or Zach because he didn't want to talk to either one of them by himself, right?
That's true.
You wouldn't want to talk to the traitor by yourself because that would give the traitor motive to take you out. Even if you said, hey, I'm going to take this person out and to lie to the traitor face to face, one-on-one. Yeah.
It was phenomenal.
I knew either Sharks or Zach was a traitor.
Like I fell for the whole Ugar thing only because the way they cleared Zach's name in the earlier episodes, like they cleared him up. I'm like, damn, okay, so it probably ain't him. He's just some loyal brat who had a crush on, his, I guess, sister or daughter end up being after we figure out the whole clone thing. But that's beside the point. So they execute the plan. This is when it ends on another cliffhanger because we then see that this plan was executed to actually trap Sharks. Ugar was a part of the plan the entire time. But not only that, our fucking captain told the entire crew. So the crew was all in on it. So they wanted to come witness it with their own two eyes. And that's when they witnessed him pull out the shit. And then that's when this fight ensues basically of Astra crew basically trying to convince Sharks like, look, dude, we've been doing this for 120 something days. Like we're a family. You cannot, no matter what you say, this is going to change that. And that literally touched me because I'm like, fuck, man, this is real. They all real. Like when Sharks was like losing his fucking shit because of these people who were so all about him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm like, wow.
Because he wasn't used to that. He was used to being like,
put aside, cast it away. Yep.
I'm just going to take your body.
Yep.
When we come of age, you're just here to be a vessel,
Yeah, he was the only one that knew he was a clone.
Yeah. So since we haven't really had a chance to talk about it, and this is now the perfect time to talk about it, that ending episode, that 47 minutes.
Bro. Fire, man. Man, what a way to close out a series, bro. It made me sad because I know it's not going to be anymore.
Yeah.
It's not. And
the manga was so long that it made me think that there's no way there couldn't be an extra ending. And
they just skipped right to it, didn't they?
They didn't. They condensed it all into that 47 minutes and it fit perfectly, dude.
Well, yeah.
I had to go back and read the manga just to make sure they ain't missed nothing. And they did not miss a damn thing.
Dope, dude. Dope. What a wrap on a beautiful series. The ending episode is basically them making it home. When they make it home, they then report their clones. The clones get taken away to jail because it is illegal in Astra to do any cloning or anything of the sort. Then these people live their lives and they grow up when they grow up into these awesome adult. Like if you follow me on Twitter at Polo Born Fly, I tweeted some of the photos from that episode. Oh, they were just beautiful, man. Everything about it was beautiful.
Except for Fenucia looks like Quateri now. They're like, she's like literally the same age.
Yep.
She's like 17 or 18 now.
The age that they left, which and was
she with your boy Ugar.
Yeah, she I love it, dude. And then Paulina was looking like a pure snack. I'm like, oh, this is just great. This is just it was a beautiful wrap up to the show. The ending was perfect. Let's get into some our new rating system we got. Where do we start?
It's a 10.
Where do we? Let's do the rating. Let's do the rating system properly.
All right. What do you want to start with? You want to start with pacing?
Whatever's first.
All right. The pacing of the anime.
Perfect 10. I mean, from episode 1 being 44 minutes long and establishing that world to the ending episode being 48 minutes long and ending the
cliffhangers.
World. Yep, to the cliffhangers was like, it wasn't even cliffhangers that make you mad. It just made you anticipate the next episode that much more.
None of the cliffhangers were cliffhangers that you were not excited about.
They were tasteful. Yes, that's what the word I was looking for. Tasteful. 10.
The story.
Oh my God. We just talked about the story. As you heard, 10.
10.
Done.
No need to even explain it. 10.
Yep.
Animation.
Oh my God, dude. Okay, so first off, this show was shot in letterbox. Beautiful. Every episode looked like a movie. Gorgeous animation. I mean, from the action scenes,
the 3D, the actual drawn out scenes, all of it was perfect. Like, even if you look at like the warp hole, it itself was a 3D figure that was literally drawing light into it, that was in its own plane on this drawn,
with no sacrifice to the character art or
it made sound when it was drawing things in. You could hear from the left when it was pulling to the left, and on the right it was pulling from the right. You would hear it shift. 10.
Easy.
I'm sorry. That was animation. Sound design.
10. The ship taking off, the ship crashing, everything from the warp hole sounds.
The plants bursting out the ground to eat you.
Oh my God, yes, dude. 10.
I can't even look at the screen.
10.
I don't even. 10. It's the characters.
10. We just gave all of our reasons why those characters, every last one of those characters was a main character. None of them fell to the background. Like, all of them were just the forefront. Even the quote unquote villains, which is the originals, they were phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, Funimation's with the dub. Check out the dubbed and the subbed, whatever you prefer. I don't care. Okay, I don't do that. I don't judge you for liking dubbed, or I don't judge you for liking sub. Listen to the dubbed and just listen to how these characters fit. Each and every one of these characters is perfect, man. It's phenomenal.
My biggest thing for the characters is that like they left no loose ends with these characters.
Nope.
None. The characters we didn't know about, characters we didn't care about.
Yep.
The Olgar becoming a reporter.
Yep.
Quittery, becoming a fashion model, Kanata writing a book, all these people. There's no loose ends with any of these characters.
Yep. Don't forget, Kanata went back into space as well, too.
But not just Kanata, Zack, and Sharks left his kingdom.
Yep.
Yunhua as a singer. There's no loose ends with these characters. It's just, we even had Luca coming into himself and like, oh yeah, I'm fully embracing my woman side and my man side. Yep. I'm just
me. I'm just Luca.
This whole show was a fucking 10.
Characters 10. That's it? Is that all of our ratings?
Yeah.
All right, let's do the math real quick, okay? 10. The fucking show is a 10, listeners. Oh, my goodness.
That's ridiculous, dude. when we watched this, we was not expecting this to be this
No,
good.
bro. We gave it not even a chance in hell when we reviewed it.
It was like, it's Astra Lost in Space. Why do I even care? And you know, I was looking at the Anilist ratings, and it was the highest it rated was number 6 of the summer, which in my opinion isn't, which isn't bad to me.
That's great.
It's the highest rated number 6 of the summer for 2019.
But the stuff ahead of it though.
Yeah, like Vinland Saga. From what I've seen, that first episode was fire. Symphogear, number 2 of the summer, fire. I didn't watch Given. Dr. Stone, I don't think Dr. Stone is in any way, shape, or form
absolutely not
better than Astra Lost in Space.
Yeah, not even close.
It's no way.
Not even close.
I just think Astra Lost in Space didn't get enough like
love.
You know how you got those clout chasers?
Yes.
I low key wish Astra Lost in Space was a clout chaser.
Yes, bro. I wish
Astra Lost in Space is out here like stealing on people to get attention.
I wish it was just like, I wish it was coming to Toonami or something. Because when the show is coming to Toonami, you can tell because Crunchyroll and Funimation tweets about it constantly. Dr. Stone gets constantly tweeted about, dude. Constantly.
Man, we gonna have to do like a year later review.
Yeah, dude.
Just watch it over.
100%.
Does Astra Lost in Space hold up in 2020?
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure it fucking does.
Straight up, dude. Straight up.
I'm almost 10 out of. I'm like 5 10s out of 10 sure.
Yeah, dude. Like this is our very first masterpiece rating of any anime. Can't recommend it enough. If you haven't watched it, I'm so sorry for spoiling all of it. That's why I feel so bad, because if you haven't watched it and you planned on watching it, like, you're going to be so sorry because you know everything. Ugh. And the best thing about that show is knowing nothing.
Well, I mean, you gave a heads up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let's take a quick break, and then we're going to go right into our My Hero Academia recap, which is going to be our new recap show, because last was Demon Slayer, now it's My Hero. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to Mic Check Waifu Waifu, episode 18. This is the part where we recap a show for you, the second half of the show. And this is going to all be about My Hero Academia, aka Way Better Than Demon Slayer show.
Way better than what?
Way Better Than Demon Slayer. I said it.
I need explanations.
Yes.
Tell me why.
You're going to get one right now. Okay, so for one, already the dub trailer of Demon Slayer fucking completely ruined the show. Okay.
All right, we can't base it off of a dub.
I 100% can, because listen, both the subbed and the dubbed of My Hero, fire. Okay, just fire. We played it at the beginning of the show. It's good. Mm-hmm. It's good. You can't, like, all the characters are good from Bakugo to just, it's all fantastic. Okay, that's one. Two. Okay, the characters are so much more likable. What character don't you like in My Hero?
I mean,
you don't
even know the character yet. You don't even know the character yet.
Okay, well,
it's a manga.
It's a hero.
Nah, ain't no. The characters I don't like, I dislike for the right reasons.
Yeah, because they're villains.
Yeah,
and that's my point. Okay, I, as a person, hate fucking Zenitsu. He's a hero. I don't like. I don't even know who else. I mean, I guess it's not really that many characters in Demon Slayer. Yeah, it's not really that many characters in Demon Slayer, but I mean, for you to have a main character that's just so dislikable, I mean, unless you're Tell you like him, but it's
a goon.
You know, like, I don't know, it's just not good. I don't get the same feeling I get watching Demon Slayer I do from My Hero. I said this earlier. Well, I was about to say this. My Hero has scenes, has fucking just a small speeches that puts in a little bit of you say run in it. It gives me fucking chills, bro. It gives me chills.
All right. So here's my outlook, right? This first episode, in my opinion, was a disappointment.
What the fuck is wrong with you, bro?
And
what?
You gotta hear me out first.
Okay, you're right.
It's a disappointment because none of this happened in the manga. This whole first episode did not happen in the manga at all. And I'm just like,
that's even better.
What the fuck did this come from? They made it canon that the movie, so that All Might actually met with his friend and he helped him become a hero or whatever. Which I'm okay with that.
Oh, you're talking about the sidekick.
Yeah, but also the camera guy, that never happened in the manga. But that was the only thing that was disappointment about it. I was so hyped. I'm like, let's go. We about to do this, right?
Okay.
But if you actually look at the episode, to me, it actually wasn't a disappointment because the episode itself was really good. Like if you never watched My Hero before, you can start right here.
Boom.
You can start right here.
That's exactly what I was about to say to you. It wasn't in the manga because it's different. Like you can't jump into a show like My Hero just from where it was. You have to have that roundup.
It starts off with United States of Smash.
United States of Smash.
It gives you backstory on the actual movie that you haven't seen. It leads you into what's happening, what's like about to happen. Mm-hmm. And then introduces all the characters all over again. Mm-hmm. So as an opening introduction episode, it was actually really good. And it was actually super cool because what made this episode actually like kind of like eye-opening for me was that we got to see that All Might is the number one hero, or was number one hero, and he was a symbol of peace. And this was like what I've been telling people. This is the season where if you didn't like Deku, you're going to love Deku now. Because this is where All Might has no choice but to hand it off.
Yep.
And they did that in this first episode.
So well.
There was a semblance of it. There was the guys like, All Might saved my family when I was a kid. And now he's saying, I'm going to take a picture saying I meant the symbol of peace, or about the symbol of peace when he was a kid, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's like, boom, in the first episode, let me show you why, you know, this is the beginning. And that was just, I don't know, man. it was a disappointment to me because that's not what I was expecting. I was like, my blood was boiling. I was hyped.
And that's why doing this little review with you is going to be a tough one because you know shit. And when you know shit, you get either disappointed, like super disappointed, or you get super hyped up. And it turns into disappointment because of what your mind thought and the manga was obviously great, might not be as great. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm going to say the disappointment to me wasn't as bad because I enjoyed this episode wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I was ready. And that's what makes this so hard for me. This is the only thing that's really going to make it hard. Not the disappointment or anything like that, because I'm not easy to disappoint. I'm not easy for any of that. What was going to be hard for me is the solid fact that this season is so fucking good.
See, you got to stay away from that. You got to stop that, man. You got to stop for not only my sake, but for the listener's sake, bro. Not everybody reads the manga.
And I'm not going to give any spoilers.
Of course, but you can't keep, blue balling people.
Come back for next week's episode as we talk about My Hero Academia because, boy.
Still going to keep blue balling us on this season.
Non-stop. I'm not blue balling y'all. I'm literally just telling you, like, just be ready.
I hear you.
Deku ain't gonna cry, but you will.
See, that gets me less excited when you do stuff like that, man.
I'm sorry.
I get disappointed.
You're not gonna see it coming, so don't worry about it.
Well, now I am because I know something's coming.
You think that? All right, cool. All right, when it happened, let me know. I'm gonna be like,
Well, you gonna have to know because you're gonna be right here.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you said you were gonna see it coming, but you didn't. Because I'm not gonna say nothing else. It's good. It's too good. I mean, definitely, I would agree that, in my opinion, My Hero Academia is better than Demon Slayer.
100%.
But I also haven't read Demon Slayer's manga, so I don't know where that story progresses. I just know a little bit about Demon Slayer's manga because I read some of it, not all of it.
It's Demon Slayer is still, don't get me wrong, I am not belittling Demon Slayer in the slightest. Like, it's a fantastic show. Like, it's good, but My Hero is definitely better. And I say that because of that Twitter poll that was brought out with the 15,000 people on anime Twitter voting that Demon Slayer was the number one anime of all time. No, bro. No, Astra Lost in Space trounces that, dude.
Easy.
100%. Like, if you're not just a shonen Naruto Bleach.
If you only watch action anime, it's still not number one.
No. Yeah, exactly. But, anime Twitter is just full of people who watches the Bleaches, the Narutos, the One Pieces. The One Punch Man is probably the deepest they go into anime. You know what I'm saying? Dragon Ball Z. Like, no, it's much more to anime than that. Like, so much more. And I feel like that's what this podcast does a good job of doing. It's bringing that out to the open,
Yes.
Bringing out the anime that's not mainstream, quote unquote, that people like to use, and just talking about everything.
I 100% agree.
But My Hero was great. What you think about this, like, rating wise?
Oh, this first episode?
Or do we want to say that for the end?
No, I'll give this episode a rating. I don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like I said, I think this first episode was really good. So I'm actually going to give it just overall an 8 because I just think that it wasn't what I expected, but for anyone coming into My Hero, that's a good first episode. Like, there's not the action that you're going to expect, but it's going to give you a good idea, synopsis of everything you missed.
Yep.
And then the next episode leads you into everything else. So fire.
It gives you everything you missed so well too. Like, it does it via story. Like, it doesn't just it has the beginning, like we played at the beginning of this episode of the podcast. It has that little piece of it, but that explains the world. Okay. You have the actual episode using its story to explain what's going on in the actual relevance of our students. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful because I knew exactly what they were doing the minute I saw the episode and the minute I saw the way it was laid out. It was essentially a filler episode, without being a filler episode. I fucking hate filler episodes for specifically going back in time. They told this as a part of the story, and it worked out so well. Like,
yeah, because that's so in the manga, they do talk about boom, they're in the dorms, and that is a whole scene, like a whole like chapter to itself. But they didn't introduce this character with the camera quirk.
Yeah, I mean, it's
camera quirk was a great way to expedite through that without going into 2 episodes of that, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So they gave you that whole thing plus the backstory.
Right.
I'm gonna give it an 8. What you rating it?
I'm giving it a 9 for sure, because it's not for the sake of me. Like, because again, I'm looking at this from a perspective of everybody, of a more broad audience. They are like, people are going to love this. People that haven't seen My Hero, and the people that have is going to, or not read the manga, of course, is going to enjoy that, because how long since it's been? It's been about a year and a half.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's been a year.
Just a flat year.
Ended. I think it ended like late November last year.
Okay,
but like I said, I've read the manga. I enjoyed this episode.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
this episode was a good episode.
It was great.
It was 100% worth watching. It's just so much hype.
So it was phenomenal. I can't wait. I can't wait to figure out what this season gives. We're gonna hope that Tell doesn't slip up and spoil something for somebody.
I never will. I never do.
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time, but I think that's a great time to wrap. Yeah,
I agree, brother.
That's a great time to wrap this episode. Episode 18, probably my new favorite episode. I say that every week, but my new favorite episode of Mic Check Waifu Waifu. Listen, check out the summer anime. If you need a list of this stuff, tweet us on Twitter. I'm at Polo Born Fly.
I'm at King Teliano.
Ask us any questions you may have right into the show. MicCheckWaifuWaifu.com/contact. If you wanted to be a part of the show, come through. We would love to hear from you.
Check out that Teespring.
Ooh, that Teespring store. The link of that will be in the show notes. So just click on the info of the show on your podcast app of service of choice. I said that all wrong, but and check out the shop. We're going to have some dope stuff in there for y'all. But with that, we out.
Peace.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
My sweet waifu.
Is that you?